A dude pull a knife and put in a football mouthpiece like he was getting ready for the fucking Olympics.
What?
No!
You have any mosh pit stories for us?
Oh my god! So yeah, I've played music for 15 years on like a semi-professional basis. One of the craziest things I've ever seen was in Fort Lauderdale at the Culture Room. You know when you can just like spot somebody out in public and you can like just you can feel their intentions like aren't good. Like ever just like look at someone, you just feel the aura and you're like, oh, like, you know,
Right.
the person's probably a shit disturber and something's gonna go down. So there was this cat that was at the pit. The show was a band called Deicide. They're like a Florida death metal band from Tampa. They've been around since like the 1980s. And I know MOSH, right? You know, I'm a performer, so like I'm like, you know, I'm not trying to like break my fingers and stuff. And so we're off to the side, and I'm looking at this dude, and he just like kind of looks unhinged. And as soon as the first band comes on, I see him take something out of his pocket, and it was a football, like a mouthpiece, right? And he went on to commit like 4 felonies within a minute. This dude put a mouthpiece in, punched a dude in the face, pulled out a knife, and started stabbing people.
What?
No!
And before it could get into like, you know, like where you're into like an Altamont type of situation where people are like literally like getting stabbed, like all these fucking metalheads just start tackling this dude, and it like derailed the concert for over an hour where they had like the ambulance come in. And that was probably like the most insane thing that I've ever seen in a pit as far as like people taking it like way to an extreme. Like that dude obviously left that night to go fuck people up. Like it's like, oh, at the metal show, people run around and hit each other. So I guess I can, you know, get out my aggression without getting in any trouble. That was like one of the craziest things that I've ever seen, like in person.
What?
Like
Did they have to bring like ambulances and like it was like a huge like take people away that had been stabbed? Like was it like a big knife and stuff, or was it like?
So it was like a fucking little pocket knife, like, you know, like 2.5, 3-inch blade.
Dang.
So it was, but I mean, like, you know, a knife's a knife. You know what I mean?
Right.
As soon as people smelled trouble, there was 20 people beating the shit out of the poor guy. You know, so the ambulance honestly was more for him and for a few people that were in the tussle. Like there was some like torn shirts, a ripped piercing. I think a dude like lost his like earring, like they ripped the earring through and shit. But that was one of the more wild times that I've ever seen as far as like just abject horror craziness.
Dang.
You know,
You were
and
kind of far
that's
away. I guess you were kind of far away from him.
as soon as like a pit breaks out, like you have to like push your back against the bar. Otherwise, you're catching a fist in the face or something, or somebody's like throw their elbow at you. And it's like it's one of the things that like there's people who use it as an opportunity to just mess people up, and that's where it goes from dancing in a good time and like, you know, a healthy, positive, kinetic release to just being, you know, an asshole and ruining other people's good times. So it's kind of like. And this must have been maybe like 2 years after Dimebag got shot.
Oh.
So that was like all fresh in people's minds too, is like, you know, crazy fans and stuff. And Deicide's like heavily, like their imagery is heavily satanic. I mean, Deicide means to kill God. So it does invite, you know, some people that again, like they don't look at the metal music as like a 3-minute horror movie that you can listen to. They actually take the shit literally, and they make some poor life choices because of that. You know, because of that. A dude pull a knife and put in a football mouthpiece like he was getting ready for the fucking Olympics or something.
It was
bananas.
Somebody said Florida man brings pocket knife to mosh pit. Dang. Only in Florida.
I haven't experienced that effing Florida.
Well, thank you for sharing your mosh pit story. We kicked it off strong. I didn't even think that was possible. All right, we're going to get to the next one. Thank you always. You're the best.
All right. You got it. Love you guys. Peace.
Oh my goodness.
Can you guys imagine that? I honestly
crazy.
would not know what to do. I would be like, I'm going to die today. Like, I would literally be so scared. I'd be so scared.
That is crazy. Every villain is lemons.
Every villain is lemons.
Okay, let me move every villain is lemons to the couch.
It was 2018. This metalcore band, Converge, they're legends. It was in Cali, LA.
Oh, okay.
Region. I'm not in LA. I'm a East Coast guy. I had to. I was 16. I had to take a plane over there. The story was like I didn't feel good. But I wanted to go to this concert.
You really
So I'm
setting
just
this story up, man. I can't
Right.
wait for it.
Right.
I didn't feel good. They were playing Dark Horse. That's one of my favorite songs by them. And you know, there's people around me. Everybody's jumping on me, and I'm like, I'm not feeling well. I'm having a headache. And this poor guy right next to me, he doesn't notice it. So you know, at some point, I just had to come out. I threw up on him. The guy just starts like freaking out. He just starts freaking out. And the whole time I'm just saying, sorry. And he didn't notice it was me. He started yelling at another guy. And the whole time I'm just watching it. Like, I'm trying to tell him sorry. And then the whole time he's just ignoring me. But he just starts hitting the other guy. Like, I don't know what happened. Like, they just went off into like the crowd of people. They just start like, I don't know. So the whole time I'm just watching and I'm just like, what's going on? And I'm like, I just want to say sorry to the guy. Like, I don't know. Cause like, if you're going to a metal concert, stay out of the mosh. I don't like moshing. I'm not a mosher. I don't know.
I got a question for you. So did you ever say, hey, it was me that threw up on you, not like...
I was trying. He didn't notice me. He just went off into the crowd fighting that guy. I didn't notice it. I mean, he didn't notice me. And I'm just like, I'll just go on with my life then. I have a headache. I'm not trying to die here. And I'm just like, I don't know. I'll enjoy the rest of the concert.
Wait, so to get the story straight, you threw up on a guy, then he went and fought a guy because he thought that was the guy who threw up on you.
He thought it was him. And
wow.
I'm like...
So what did the guy look like? Was he like a big dude or?
I mean, no, he wasn't. No, I mean, if anything, it's me. I'm the big dude. So I'm like, I don't know. He just like went for the other guy. I don't know why. He probably thought it was him. He was really like out of it he was really angry. I don't know.
Thank you for sharing. By the way, do you care if we use, like, if we repost this video on our YouTube?
I don't care. I'm fine.
Okay, cool. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
You know, that's actually, that would be, I feel like that would be me. You know what I'm saying?
Thrown up?
I don't know what happened.
That is wild.
What a story. Dang. Okay, so I partially feel like even more terrified to go, and I partially cannot wait.
Right? You might get thrown up on.
Right? I might get thrown up on. There might be a fight. It might get crazy, but it also sounds a bit like you're going to have stories to walk away with.
Right? All right, you have any mosh pit stories for us?
Yeah, I got a wall of death story.
Ooh.
Okay.
So there was a concert. It's called Woodshock. Been moshing all day. This is probably 15 years ago or something like that. 15, 16 years ago. I don't remember the band that was up there, but he's like, it was break time. I'm walking away. I'm covered in sweat. I'm covered in beer. I'm covered in whiskey.
Beer and whiskey.
Beer, whiskey, and sweat.
and I get halfway away from the stage, going back to my campsite, and he says he's going to do a wall of death. I'm like, oh great, here we go. I got to go back for this, you know. So I drag my ass back there, and it just so happens where I'm at in the crowd splits right where I'm at. I am front row of the wall of death.
Oh.
You know, he does the countdown. I run as fast. We're probably 100 feet, give or take, apart. At the time, I'm 230, 220, 230. I'm 6 foot. And I put every ounce of energy I have left in my feet to run at whoever the guy in the bright green shirt was coming right at me, who was much larger than me. We collided just like that guy was saying, like in the movies, in those warrior movies where you boom, right? We collided. Next thing I know, I can't find him. I don't know where any of my people are on the outside of the ring, but I am getting knocked around like it's nobody's business. But I never want to do that again. Not that I never wanted to get in a pit again, but I was just so exhausted and drunk. Let's face it. You want to talk about your teeth rattling. You take 200 and some odd pound guys meeting like in rugby or football without pads. That was a fun time. I guess one of the dudes that I was with said that he got drug out of there. The guy that I actually ran into got drug out by his ankles. He went out.
So you leveled him.
He went out, which is not that uncommon.
Dang.
So you knocked him out.
Well,
Wait, what?
It's the guy that I collided with.
Okay.
What happened after we met in the middle of that pit, I don't know. I'm not going to say I knocked him out.
But you probably did.
But he happened to be knocked out at the end.
Sometime between us colliding and me making my way out of the pit, my dude grabs me. He goes, "That guy you hit, like in the wall?" I said, "Yeah." He goes, "He got drug out by his ankles." I was like,
Oh.
"All right, I made it."
Got a body. Wow.
Well, thank you for sharing
Yeah,
that.
thank you so much.
Wild.
He said I was like, ooh. Oh,
I'm not saying I knocked him out, but yeah.
I don't know. You know, just things happen. That's why I want to go. Like, I now want to go even more, but I'm also like terrified even more. That sounds brutal. That sounds brutal. My little self in the midst of all that. But honestly, wouldn't it be cool to have like a bird's eye view?
Right.
Like, what if you're like
Bring
in
a drone or something?
Right. A drone? I'm thinking like you're just in like a tall chair. You know what I mean? Somebody would probably pick up a
Like
chair
this is
and
like
like
some
throw
kind of
you.
gladiator sport or
Yeah,
something.
basically. That would be so cool. Like to be right in the middle.
The band that was playing was a friend of ours band and a couple other bands. And I got a friend who's got no legs and one arm. So we decided that he would do a stage dive and I was going to help him. So put him up on the stage and he kind of hops, you know, with one arm kind of scooting. He comes scooting to the edge of the stage, and on the first attempt, I didn't get him high enough, and he kind of just fell to the ground. So I threw him back up on the stage. And he's about 125 pounds. And he goes back, and this time I crouched down. So I was underneath him when he came off the edge of the stage, and I launched him up and over everybody. And he landed on one of these little cocktail tables and totally crushed it, busted all the glass on it. And he gets up with his... it was epic.
Thank you. Thanks for sharing your story.
All right, you guys. All right, well, love you guys. Peace.
All right. Love
All right,
you.
love you too. Take care.
That's awesome. I can't believe
That's wild.
the guy with no legs and one arm, and like he crashed on a table. He's like, yeah. Like that's how life should be. I feel like, you know, like no matter what, always end up with a smile. Oh, that's awesome.
That's wild.
Wow, you
Took
guys
out
have the
6
best
people.
stories. 6 people. I wasn't even gonna do it, and then I just, you know, boom, took out a whole family. I mean, yeah, I can't wait to get into more. We love you guys. Until next time, that's a wrap.
I don't know. Tell me, man, what do you know? What do you know? Me and my boys on the road. You to go. She told me, boy, you to go. Like, I don't know. But I don't